Welcome to the third annual Logging the Backlog Awards. This is a video that looks at my year in gaming and gives awards to various games that I've played over the year. Given that my gaming habits aren't exactly normal, you can expect that this isn't your typical awards video. For one thing, I don't really play many newly released games. I have a huge backlog of games and tend to focus on working through that instead of playing the newest releases. This means I'm always way behind the curve, but sometimes it can be helpful to avoid the hype, positive or negative, around certain games and give a clearer opinion. My awards are also a mix of ones you'd expect to see, but also ones that you wouldn't. Since this is a look back at my year in gaming, I also tend to talk about the worst and weirdest games that I've played, alongside of the best and most enjoyable. It's a fun way for me to look back on all the games that I've played this year. Since there will be plenty of games that I played this year that won't be mentioned, I always start out this video with some general gaming stats for my year. I keep records of the games I've been playing and like to give you an idea of the size of the pool I'm taking from each year. For 2025, I've played 46 different games and technically 6 DLCs. I finished 15 story games and either completed or stopped playing 5 other games this year. In terms of platinum trophies, I only completed 2 this year. I think this is due to 2 main reasons. One, I've been playing some longer, more involved games on PlayStation this year, like Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX, and Yakuza 0. And even though I beat Final Fantasy IX, the trophy list was a bit tougher, and I didn't wind up earning the platinum trophy for that game soon after beating it like I have in other cases. Second, I played more PC games this year, with around 20 of my games just being PC games. The fact that I only earned 2 platinums did bum me out a little, but hopefully next year we'll see a better haul of platinum trophies. So it'll be these 46 games that I'll be pulling from for this year's list. So let's take a look at what games were the big winners and losers of my year. We'll start with some of my odder categories and work our way to some of my favorite games from the year. So we'll start off with worst game I played this year. This isn't really a positive category, but I wanted to acknowledge that not every gaming experience we have over the year is necessarily a good one. For every best, there is also a worst. And the worst game I played this year is 50 Minutes Till Impact. This free-to-play adventure style game was probably the worst game I played this year. To be fair, this was only a student project, but it wasn't the only one of those that I played over the year. I really liked the interesting murder mystery time loop concept here, but there were just too many rough edges to this game for me to fully enjoy it. I was still able to enjoy the good parts of the game, it's just too bad that there were so many rough parts as well. The second category is weirdest game I played this year. There are some weird games out there. Games with strange stories, weird graphical choices, or just a strange combination of themes or gameplay elements. Weird doesn't have to mean bad though. It can, but sometimes the game is weird and good. And the winner of the weirdest game I played this year goes to Catgirl. This is a poster child for the weird but good category of weird games. Catgirl is a free-to-play turn-based RPG that also includes rhythm, card battling, as well as a few other genres. This game has a silly sense of humor, and I had a lot of fun playing it. While it is silly, there is a heartwarming little message at the center of the game as well. It's by far the strangest game I played all year, but I was very glad to have played it. Next award is the oldest game that I played this year. It's hard not to focus on the new. There are so many games that come out every year that it's super easy to forget about the great games from the past. Just being old doesn't make a game good, but making sure we look back every once in a while to older games is important too. So that's why I wanted to add a category like this to look at what the oldest game that I played this year was. And the winner is Heretic from 1995. While admittedly I played Heretic as a part of the Heretic Hexen re-release this year, it still plays like the old school Doom style game that it always has been. Heretic is basically fantasy Doom with only a few tweaks to the gameplay, like the ability to look up and down a little, and more significantly an inventory system. This game is now 30 years old and the oldest game that I played this year. And this ends some of the odder parts of my list. Before I get into some of my favorite games I played this year, I want to talk about the easiest and hardest platinum trophies of the year. I'm a trophy hunter and like to try to complete the games I play as much as possible, so I wanted my list to reflect that aspect of my gaming as well, even if this year there were only 2 to choose from. So the hardest platinum of 2025 was Lionheart from Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. Final Fantasy VIII wasn't that hard to platinum, but when there are only 2 games to choose from, even a game that isn't super hard to 100% can be yours. Most of the hard trophies from this game were about finding all the collectibles like the Timber Maniac magazines and doing side quests and super bosses. So while this may have been a bit time consuming, it wasn't necessarily super difficult to accomplish. And on the flip side, the easiest platinum of 2025 is Evans Remains from Evans Remains. What's funny about this year is that the 2 platinum trophies I achieved are only a day day apart. That should give you a hint as to why Evans Remains is the easier of the two platinum trophies. I earned the platinum in Final Fantasy VIII on February 24th, and then earned the platinum in Evans Remains on February 25th. Even though this was a very short game and an easy platinum, I didn't hate my time with it. It had fun gameplay and an interesting story, even if I didn't quite like where the story went narrative-wise. Moving forward, the remaining awards are all highlighting some of the best games I played this year in various categories. These categories aren't really by genre, but more just reflect general categories of games that I've played over the year. To start off, we have the best free-to-play story game. I didn't have a free-to-play story game last year, so this category was dropped in 2024. That changed this year as I played a lot of free-to-play story games this year. Since I also played a number of good games in this category, it's a tough award to figure out who to give it to, with games like Project Cat, Paper Lily, Awaria, and Catgirl all being games I enjoyed quite a bit over the year. But I think that the best free-to-play story game award goes to Paper Lily Chapter 1. This is a horror-themed adventure-style game that I wound up playing this year. I found it to be super interesting. It's about a cursed girl trying to find a way to get rid of this curse that makes everyone hate being around her. After trying so many things, she tries this ritual she found online as a last-ditch effort. This is what you are playing through. You help Lily perform the ritual and then navigate her through the strange world of danger, monstrous beings, and a weird mix of horrific and beautiful scenery. I found this to be a solid game overall. The most unfortunate thing is that this is just Chapter 1, and we're left waiting for Chapter 2 to release at some point. The next award is Favorite Online Game that I played this year. Online games are an interesting beast. New ones get released each year, but even older games can get so many updates that they can continue to feel fresh for years after their initial release. And the winner this year is Marvel Rivals. The last 2 years, Fortnite has won this category, but this year, Marvel Rivals takes the win. I think this is both due to how much I've enjoyed Rivals after having a full year of playing it, and also some missteps that I think Fortnite has made over the past year. Rivals has just been really fun to play throughout the year. They've consistently released new heroes that manage to work really well overall. They are good about offering free cosmetics, and I found the game quite a bit of fun. While it may not be quite as popular as it was at the end of last year into the start of 2025, our family is still enjoying the game quite a bit. While Fortnite is still a close second, it just didn't have enough to make it into the top spot this year. The next award is Best Couch Multiplayer Game. This is a new category added this year. I love playing games together with family, both online and with us all sitting in the same room. Earlier this year, I did a list of games that I enjoyed playing with my family this way, and it made me want to add that as a category for this video as well. And the winner for this is Stardew Valley. This was the first year that I have ever played Stardew Valley as a couch co-op game, and it has been a lot of fun. Stardew Valley is one of those games that I really enjoy playing, and getting to play it with family all in one room is quite a bit of fun as well. Playing co-op is a bit of a different experience as time doesn't stop for all your cutscenes and inventory management moments, but I still find it an enjoyable experience. It's nice to play a game that isn't competitive with each other and can be played when you're tired or if you're just wanting to get some farming done. Not that I have anything against competitive games, but they can sometimes lead to people getting upset or frustrated that they aren't doing well. With Stardew Valley, you don't really have to worry about that, and it just results in a nice chill gaming session that can also have some pretty funny moments as well, depending on the night. The next award is Favorite Remake, Remaster, or Re-Release. Remasters, remakes, and re-releases have become a fairly common reality in today's gaming world. Releasing upgraded or expanded versions of games from the past for a new audience can be nice. While sometimes this is done for games that don't really need it, it is great to be able to play some older games with some tweaks or even rebuilt from the ground up on modern systems. And the winner for this category is Final Fantasy IX. I don't really know what category the current version of Final Fantasy IX falls into. It is either a remaster or a re-release. Personally, I kind of lean into it being a remaster, but it doesn't have the label like Final Fantasy VIII Remastered or Final Fantasy VII Remake. It does improve the graphics and add some tweaks, but regardless of what it exactly is, it's the winner of this category this year. Final Fantasy IX is definitely a game that I will be talking more about later in this video, so I'll leave it by saying that this was definitely a game that I was very happy to get the chance to play again on modern consoles, even if I did think that the trophy list for the game was a bit ridiculous and hard to achieve. The next category is Favorite Endless Game I started this year. Endless games are my own category of game that lumps all the games that don't really have a story or a set endpoint. I'm reducing this to games I started for the first time over the past year, so I don't wind up having duplicate winners or the same winner in this category year after year, since one of the dangers of this kind of game is that you can keep playing it for a very, very long time. And the winner is HoloCure Save the Fans. I've been a big fan of Vampire Survivors over the last couple of years. Strangely though, I hadn't really played that many other games of that style until this year. I played a couple of these in 2025, and one of them was HoloCure Save the Fans. I had no idea what HoloLive was before playing this, and still don't have a lot of knowledge other than it's some kind of VTuber group. Despite this lack of knowledge, I still found HoloCure to be very fun. It has gameplay that is pretty close to Vampire Survivors, but does a few things differently enough to be something more than just another clone of the game. While I maybe don't like it quite as much as Vampire Survivors, I still thought it was a pretty fun little game. It's also completely free, so that just makes the game all the more impressive to me, so it's definitely one that I would say it's worth checking out. The next category is favorite DLC that I played this year. I played 6 DLC this year, but 4 of these were pretty integrated into my experience of the game. I played Civilization 6 this year after I bought it as a bundle, and played with both the Gathering Storm and Rise and Fall expansions activated. Doing this made it hard to know what was really added by these, and to not know really what the game felt without them unless I didn't play with them, but I did, so these ones it's kind of hard to really judge for the year. I also played 2 expansions for Heretic, Shadow of the Serpent Riders, and Faith Renewed. These were also bundled with the Heretic Hexen Remaster, but it was a lot clearer when I was playing these as opposed to playing the regular game. And then the last 2 DLCs were the new DLCs for Vampire Survivors, Emerald Diorama and Antechamber. And the winner out of all of these is Emerald Diorama from Vampire Survivors. If you would have told me that Emerald Diorama would have won my favorite DLC for this year right after I played it for the first time, I would have been pretty doubtful. I didn't love that DLC all that much when I first played it. I still thought it was good, but it just didn't wow me. I think it was just a combination of coming off of Ode to Castlevania, not knowing the Saga series all that much, and feeling like the DLC was a bit harder to work through and unlock everything on than some of the others. After time and playing more with the weapons and comparing everything to other DLCs, I realized that this was far better than I gave it credit for. This is especially true since it was a rather large free DLC for Vampire Survivors. It also helped that the second DLC for Vampire Survivors was super small, which made this one shine all the more. And that's what's led it to be my favorite DLC for 2025. And now we come to the final category, my favorite story game that I completed this year. And that goes to Final Fantasy IX. I told you this game would be showing up again on this list, and here it is. Final Fantasy IX is not only my favorite story game for the year, but is probably my favorite Final Fantasy game from the PS1 era of games, at least of the mainline titles. I know this is probably blasphemous for the Final Fantasy VII lovers out there, but the world, characters, and story of Final Fantasy IX just captivated me in ways that Final Fantasy VII and VIII didn't. I still like all of them, but Final Fantasy IX is my favorite of the 3. It was also just the best story game that I completed this year, and only one other game came anywhere close. I love the story of Zidane, Vivi, and Garnet, and really enjoyed getting to play through it once again. And that's it for this little mashup of a year in review and my own personal awards for the year. I hope that you had an enjoyable 2025 and that you wound up playing an enjoyable assortment of games, whether they're ones that were released this year or older games. There are so many great games out there and not nearly enough time to play them all. I hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to say what some of your favorite games were this year in the comments. You can even share some games that would fit into the other categories if you'd like. I always enjoy getting to see what others are playing and what some of your best, worst, and weirdest games were. Again, I hope everyone had a great year. This will be my last video for 2025, so thanks to all who have watched, liked, commented, and subscribed during the year. It means a lot to me, and I'll hope that the channel can continue to grow over time. So that's all for this video though, so have a happy new year, and I'll see you next time.